want you just imagine where you were before all this craziness happened. How you would just spend a day off. That's what Jesus is talking about. You will find rest for your souls. Where do we go when we're feeling burdened? To Him. I want to show you an example, maybe a visual example of what I'm talking about right now. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer in the crowd. Anybody at all? What about you, handsome man? Why don't you join me? Would you do me a favor and give my very handsome son Ezekiel a big hand? Give him a big hand. I know you're not in the room, so you have to put emojis on the thing. Okay. Man, you look good. How are you doing?
Good.
You're kind of tired?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, listen. Stand right here, kid. Okay. Ezekiel, or Chico as I like to call him, is going to represent you, me, everybody right now, okay? Everybody's walking around, and maybe you're generally optimistic or you're pessimistic. Either way, this Ezekiel, now, my Chico is optimistic, and so he wakes up happy, and he's awesome. I love him for that. But let's say he represents you, or me, or the guy that you saw in the grocery store wearing the mask, okay? Every one of us, we walk around every day, and we actually end up carrying things with us. Now, whether we like it or not, we carry things with us everywhere we go. And you and I didn't choose this, but each one of us is carrying something really heavy right now. Really heavy. This is my 20-pound bag of rice, Calrose rice. Each and every one of us is carrying a heavy weight with us, whether we like it or not. This coronavirus, this COVID-19, all of this stuff, we're carrying it with us. And I bet that if you're anything like me, man, you're even sometimes get freaked out about catching it or giving it to people. Do I have it already? I mean, there's been several thousand people that have been tested. Maybe you're one of them. But every one of us is carrying this thing. Okay, so turn around, kiddo. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're just carrying it. Is that heavy? Mm-hmm. Probably like your backpack at school, right? Mm-hmm. All the books, yeah. And so we carry these things with us as we walk around, and it's just the weight, the heaviness of not being sure what's going to happen, not being sure about our life. And then what happens is then we end up talking to people. And when we talk to people, they talk about the things that they're carrying around too. And here's what it does. It adds stress to what's already happening in our life. And so as we talk to people, they go, man, can you believe what's happening in China and Italy? You got that real good. I know it's heavy. Can you believe what's happening? Back up just a little bit. Can you believe what's happening in China and Italy and these other places? And now the U.S. leads in these cases and everything's happening and there's all this stuff. And just like, oh, and we end up carrying so much stress with us. And then we start to get anxious about our job. And maybe you're an essential worker and things are going good. And you're like, man, like, I'm glad I have a job, but I hope I don't catch it while I'm there. And you have anxiety when you wake up and you go to work, and there's all these things that are weighing you down. Maybe you're a non-essential worker and you're just feeling the anxiety of paying bills, or you're wondering, man, I got enough for this month or maybe even next month, but what are we going to do after that? Maybe you're thinking like a lot of us is thinking, as far as the economy is concerned, this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. So we're carrying this anxiety, and we walk around carrying these weights with us. And then we talk to people, and they add even more worry and stress to our lives, and they say, man, I can't believe in my auntie and my so-and-so and this person that I know, and have you heard about this person? And all they're doing is checking social media, and there's so many things coming against us. And for you and I, this is how we walk around, heavy burdened, weighed down by anxiety, worry, stress, all this stuff. But here's what Jesus is saying, and Chico's giggling a little bit because it is heavy. Here's what Jesus is saying. He says this. He says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. He says, I'm going to actually trade what you're carrying for peace and hope. I'm going to trade what you're carrying for love and grace. Do you want to trade with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you. And what the Lord does, what Jesus does as we come to him, is he slowly removes these things from our heart and from our lives as we lean into the words that he says. He slowly takes these things from us and says, you know what, I'll take that. Why don't you give that to me? God, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how it's going to go. And he says, you know what? I can actually take this and I can carry this for you. In fact, I want to. And for you and I want you to know this morning that if we will run to him, if we will give our burdens to him, that he will trade it for his peace and his hope, for his grace. And this morning, if you get enough of this, he might even fly away, but it's meant to uplift us. It's meant to raise us up. Would you give him a big hand? You did great. What a strong kid.